Hi friends, I'm excited to share my new layout with you using the May color kits, and I have started by taking out some of those colors just on a scratch piece of paper and putting them out so that you can see all of the beautiful goodness that is in the May color kit. And I adore these colors and how they coordinate together and then how they end up looking on the final layout. So I'm going to be showing you my process here. I did take that last one that I put on was the Blings Pixie Dust. I did mix it into some of those other colors just so you could see it, but you'll see close-ups of that in a few minutes. So here what I did is I took a piece of Foundations Mixed Media white cardstock, and this is a stencil from Pear Tree Cut Files, and then Ranger texture paste. So this is just the opaque white texture paste, and I put it on pretty generously through this stencil, and the stencil says like together, family, love. I think that's all it says, together, family, and love, and it just kind of repeats that over and over again. So I'll show you that in just a second. I did sit that off to dry overnight, and then I'm also going to be using the May paper kit, paper color kits. So the paper that coordinates with these colors is absolutely gorgeous and super whimsical and kind of funky retro a little bit, and it's fantastic. So what I did is I started the layout by fussy cutting out a lot of pieces. So one of the pieces had all of these great tags, and I took out some of the pink and gold tags to match the colors that are in the color kit. So I just pulled out 5 tags, 3 that are kind of golden yellowy, and then 2 that are pink. And then I fussy cut out some flowers and some other little sweet embellishments. And I'm going to use my hole punch to punch holes in the tag so I can add some thread, and then I am going to distress the edges of everything. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. You won't watch me do all of it, but it's there. And then I'm just going to kind of lay out, because my paper was still off drying when I was working on this, I wanted to kind of lay out how I wanted things to go here and decide how I wanted all of that to look. So I did start by having those darker orange flowers. I don't end up using those on the ones that are on the very bottom of the screen right now. I don't end up using those on the final layout, but I did cut them all out thinking I might use them. Okay, so now you can see I have that paper with all that texture paste dry. This is the next day, and I am starting with the Vibes chip mauve the old block. So like chip off the old block, but chip mauve the old block. So that's kind of a pinky red. It is, or an orangey red, pinky red. I don't know. It's fantastic. It's a great color. And then that second color that you saw me spray. So I did that color kind of centralized down the center, kind of in an oblong shape. And then I took the pink, that's a Vibes Pink Lemonade, and I just sprayed that around the outer edge of that, of the redder one. And now I'm going to take the Shimmerz Golden Wheat. It's super vivid yellow, a very goldeny mustardy yellow, which is one of my very favorite colors. Red and pink and mustard yellow are my favorite colors. So this was a great color kit for me. So here, and turquoise. I also love turquoise, but there's no turquoise in this color kit. So here what I'm doing is I'm adding on that gold kind of around the outer edge. And you did see me, I'm doing this kind of it's sped up, but it's in real time. So I did not let anything dry before I added the next colors. I wanted the colors to kind of blend and mix. And by adding another color while the ones before are still wet, I do get a nice blended color in the end. I love how that looks. So I'm going around and doing just a few splatters. I want the background to look messy and kind of bohemian, sort of like the paper does. So I love how that looks. And that golden color did mix really beautifully with the pink and kind of give me some shades of orange there. You'll see on the final layout when it dries. And I took the red, the chip mauve, the old block, and went and added some splatters of that mixed in. and added it to the golden sections. And then I'm going to set that off to dry. I want that to be really good and dry before I put anything else down. Okay, so here are the flowers that I fussy cut, and so now I'm going to be adding some more to those too. So they would have been perfect on their own. If you've been following along with the design team layouts for this month, you've seen these flowers on people's layouts, and they left them white and they're beautiful. White just the way that they are, but I love adding some color to them. So here I did that in layers. So I added the pink, then I added just some touches of red. And then now I'm going back in with the Bling's Pixie Dust. And that is like super like thick and shiny, very glimmery, glitzy. Love that. So it kind of covers up the more vivid shades of pink, but it blends well as it dries. And then I took the Shimmerz Golden Wheat, so the same colors that I used on the background. I took the golden wheat and added that to the center of those flowers. I love how that ends up looking. Set those off to dry. Okay, so here now I've got the background. And then I did put the stencil back down, and I got some white, the Picket Fence Distress ink. So it's the white shade of Distress ink. And I did at first have the stencil back down to kind of guard where that white ink was going, but it was pretty tough to get it to stay so that I could get it on those letters. So what I end up doing, you're going to see here in a second, is I just take the stencil off and I very lightly, this is really the only part of this layout that was like, you have to be kind of careful when you do it, because if you push down, you're going to get white blotches. So what I did is I put the ink blending tool, it's just a foam dauber, into that Distress ink. And then I very lightly, like when I touched it to the paper, I didn't push down. I just kind of rubbed it side to side. So it got just the raised letters, and it gave them a little bit more, it's not a huge detail. You don't have to do it. That could totally be a step you skip, but it does give a little bit of detailing and draws out that texture that's on the background from the color. So I love how that looks, to make sure that all of the pieces matter and stand out. So here what I'm doing, I've kind of got the general layout of what the layout is going to be, or the pieces are going to look like. And I'm taking embroidery thread in a coordinating pink and a coordinating gold. And so I put the gold on the pink tags, and then I'm going to put the pink on the gold tags. So opposite colors. And then those tags are going to just kind of sit across the back there. And I do end up using, I'm using some craft foam, and then I'm also going to be using wet glue, because I've got so much stuff on the background. I want to make sure that everything adheres to it really well. And I did do the pink tags are flat on the background, and then the yellow tags are raised. And so everything that I'm going to be doing on top of those, I do add craft foam to be at the same level. So like that white piece of patterned paper that I cut from the May kit, when I adhere that down, and I don't know if I left that in here or if I cut it out, but when I adhere that down, so it's sitting on two of the yellow tags on either side, I did add craft foam down just the center of that, so it's at the same level, because I don't like any warping or like wrinkly look behind my photos. So I want to make sure that my craft foam is all very even back behind there so that it has a sturdy foundation. So you can see I also used a piece of the pink patterned paper behind the photos as well, and distressed the edges of all of that. And so now I'm going to be going and adding my flowers that I painted. They're so beautiful. I love those flowers. I'm going to be kind of doing top left to bottom right. This is my natural way of things, is to kind of see things going that direction. So top left to bottom right is where the embellishments are going to go. So I'm kind of building cluster. I did pull some flowers and like little bits and pieces from my stash to mix in as well. Most everything is from the May paper kit and color kit. I just pulled a couple little flowers. Like I have a box of leftover flowers when I do different things, and I just pulled a couple of little pink and gold. I did want some gold foiling, so I did pull out some flowers that had that. And then that is one of the pieces from the May kit, that pink heart. Enamel sticker. And then I took just some gold, I had some gold glitter cardstock, and it's pretty thick, and I just freehanded cut some leaves, like the shape of a leaf, and then squeezed it up and put those around just to kind of tie in the gold color as well. So that's just a piece of glitter. It was like a scratch piece of, like a scrap. I have all of my scraps in drawers by color. So cardstock, glitter cardstock, all the different kinds of cardstock that are just solid colors. I have those in drawers by color. So I was able to pull out just some gold. And then these enamel dots that I'm putting in the center of the flowers right now are from the kit, the May kit. So those are from Felicity Jane. And then this gold foiled word foam sticker, it says fun, and that's just from my stash, something I pulled out. And these sweet photos are from spring break. This was one of our surprise adventures. We went to the movies and went and did fun stuff each day of spring break. So this was one of those days. And there's lots of pink and gold in these photos, which is why I picked these photos for this paper. Okay, so this box off to the left is my box of beautiful, shiny, little teeny tiny things from Button Schooler. Or things I have collected from Button Schooler and put in this box. So I just pulled out some gold crystals and half pearls and some pink crystals and half pearls. And other little sparkly bits. And I'm just going around the clusters and kind of blinging those up a little bit. I love to have lots of shiny objects there. And I do like to do the embellishments in little groups, odd numbers of groups, so like 5 little things or 3 little things. Sometimes I do 4, but usually an odd number is more pleasing to the eye. So do little groups of embellishments there. And I did embellish on top of some of the ephemera and then embellished around it so that like kind of everything looks like it's sort of spilling off. And then this next step was super impactful. I didn't realize how impactful it was going to be, but on the final layout in real life, when you see it, it's absolutely gorgeous. So I took the blings pixie dust, and I added just a little bit of water to my paintbrush. And then I splattered the pixie dust medium around the layout, and the way that it dried like, because I did pretty thick droplets of it, and it dried and gave like super great texture. So it definitely sat on top of the paper. A lot of that medium did not absorb into the mixed media cardstock or even on the paper that's on the background. So like on those gold tags and stuff, it looks fabulous on the finished layout, and it's super shiny. So it's like icing almost, like the icing on the cake. But it looks like it's just beautiful. So I'm gonna be getting more of that. I can see that in my future that I'll be using that on lots of projects. So that's the Blings pixie dust. So it comes wet already. And that's it's one of my favorite things that I've used. Okay, and then this is, I got some pink and gold. These are the metallic pops of color. I think those are both pops of color. One of them might be, oh, the yellow is actually, I think, liquid pearls. But the other ones are pops of color. And there was a heart on that tag, a white heart. So I did go and fill that in with that golden color, almost like puff paint, so it does sit up on the thing. Okay, so when you zoom in, you can see those everywhere. You can see all of those mediums on the background. Hopefully I've zoomed in far enough for you to see that. And just lots of little details, and I love how the pixie dust added such a great little detail. All right, and my still photos are coming up, and I would love for you to give the video a like and comment if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have, and I hope to hear from you. I love hearing your feedback and seeing what you think, and I hope you guys have a great day and take some time to create. Bye for now.